We have the same goal. We want greater accountability in government on the one hand, and we want sustainable revenues on the other. This is a compromise. Our state's in crisis. We see it in our health care, roads, corrections, and above all, education. No one understands the damage being done as we speak by this education crisis better than our first speaker. Despite revenue failure, she has fought hard for Oklahoma teachers and students and championed many education reforms through the years. As a former public school teacher, she knows how important the Step Up plan is, and it's going to improve our state. Please welcome our first speaker, State Superintendent of Public Instruction, Joy Hofmeister.
Thank you very much. And for every one of you who teaches children in our classrooms all across this state, I want to give you my heartfelt appreciation and say thank you. You deserve a great round of applause right now. Thank you. So here's my message today. Our kids can't wait any longer. The teacher shortage is real. We have educators leaving this profession. They don't want to, but they must. We know they must take care of their own families, and we know they are sacrificing to take care of yours and mine. But it is incumbent upon us today to realize the crossroads we are standing in. Our future depends on fixing this crisis. The teacher shortage is known throughout this state and throughout this country, and it is shameful. It is our state's constitutional responsibility to give a competitive, free education to every student who walks in our doors. Where in public school, we open our arms wide and we say to every one of you who comes in, we will teach you, we will educate you. And it is not just our state's responsibility and our state's constitutional obligation, it is a moral responsibility. Education is the foundation of everything. Nothing else will flourish and grow. And anything that we build today, any renaissance in economic growth or development, it's on a shaky foundation if we do not stabilize education. It begins with teachers, and we've done a lot of work. Teachers have led. Teachers have said, we're going to do the right thing for kids. We're going to raise standards for academic performance in math and English language arts and science and computer science. We're going to be a part of having national comparability and set higher expectations. We've revamped school accountability. We've done all these things because it was the right thing. But all of that cannot bear the fruit that we know it can without a teacher. What good is it? What good is all the reform? What good is all the efforts? What good is all the attempts to raise standards with new laid plans when you don't have the teachers to teach them? So, we have to put a stop to the divisiveness. Our kids do not care about party affiliation. Our children are not represented by one party or another. They do not care about one industry over another. It isn't about rural versus urban. It is about doing the right thing. There is no glory in gridlock. There is greatness in coming together to do the right thing for kids. We have an opportunity today for greatness. We have an opportunity today for statesmen to lead from this Capitol building and do the right thing for the future of this state. So I ask you, stand with me and insist on a competitive education and the very beginning step to have regionally competitive pay with a $5,000 pay raise for our teachers who are well deserving and our children who deserve it even more. On behalf of the school children of Oklahoma and the 700,000 children who have their fate in the hands of those who will vote today, I ask you to vote yes for a teacher pay raise and the funds to pay for it. Our future starts today.
Thank you, Madam Superintendent. Our next speaker fights for teachers every day. Her leadership at the Oklahoma Education Association puts her on the very front lines. She absolutely understands that Oklahoma students deserve the very best teachers. And she knows that the pay raise that we're proposing in the step-up plan is key to keeping the best and brightest. Let's welcome Alicia Priest, President of the Oklahoma Education Association.
Good morning. This is a big crowd. Thank you all for being here. I'll try to tone my teacher voice down. I'm speaking a little bit loud. I can hear that. Thank you for taking the time to come here to talk to and listen to your legislators. My name is Alicia Priest, and I am a Spanish teacher from Yukon, Oklahoma, serving as president of the Oklahoma Education Association. Whether you're a school administrator, school custodian, bus driver, math teacher, special education teacher or aide, o una maestra como yo, we take great pride in what we do. You see, educators love their professions. We are passionate about what we do, and we step up and do it all every day. For far beyond the 24 years that I've been in education, teachers and support professionals have been stepping up for their students and for the future of the state. We've done more with less. We've bought our own supplies, taken on more students with fewer staff, taught larger class sizes, and the list goes on and on. I know that no one in our state wants to see students fail because we aren't properly funding public education. I know that if everyone could experience the heart-wrenching stories that what this is doing to our kids, those elected officials would act on the words that we hear when they're campaigning. Education is my priority. This is lip service that has been paid by many an elected official. I learned early on that my word is my integrity. Is there integrity in these halls? If there were, my 8th grade daughter would not have been crying over a history assignment. It was a comparative essay over George Washington, his career versus his exit speech. Easily done. She has the skills. She's had great teachers. But what didn't she have? She didn't have any supplies at home. She didn't have a book. She didn't have materials to reference because they only have a classroom set. That's all they can afford. And I hear that all over the state. Oklahoma City public school teachers I was talking to earlier, they don't even have math or English textbooks. How is that okay? It's not. It's not. The teachers have to create that curriculum themselves. How are we showing our support of public education? Our students need state leaders to step up. If funding education were a priority, I wouldn't see post after post on Facebook about teachers who have the flu and have to decide between getting the $100 plus Tamiflu or feeding their kids for the rest of the month. That's not okay. A teacher in Weatherford, Texas died from the flu because she couldn't afford the Tamiflu. We have teachers here in Oklahoma this year who passed away because his insurance hadn't kicked in and he couldn't afford to go to the doctor. Is this what we want for the future of Oklahoma? Are these issues that doctors, lawyers, and legislators worry about? Teachers already pay for necessary supplies like pens, pencils, books, curriculum, really anything we need to expand the curriculum and make teaching meaningful to students. And in addition to that, we pay for food and clothing for our students who are in need. And I know there are a lot of people in this room who support educators and schools in doing that, including the Facebook page, Oklahoma Education Needs Donations, and our local businesses who always step up and support their community schools. The reality is, school funding in Oklahoma, in our state, has been cut more than any other state in the nation. It's affecting our students. At a recent Save Our State budget, a student from Lawton spoke about having a substitute teacher all the way through geometry. He made a D in the class because there was no one there to help him day in and day out master that curriculum. Is this what we want for the state of Oklahoma, for our kids? Is this creating an educated workforce so that we have a community that can come back and pay taxes and support all of us? Investment in education is investment in economic development. Our children depend on the adults in the room making good choices for them. But that doesn't seem to be happening a lot when it comes to funding public education. If public education funding were a priority, we wouldn't be standing here. I stand before you now to make sure everyone comprehends that we have a revenue problem in this state. We do not have a spending problem. We most assuredly have a revenue problem. The OEA recently completed a poll with the results showing that only 7% of Oklahoma voters believe that our legislators are doing right in funding public education. 7% believe that we're doing right. Overwhelmingly, Oklahomans support our schools. 70% list education funding as a number 1 or number 2 priority. They also know that the teacher in the classroom is very important. When asked about teacher shortage, 74% said it was either extremely or a serious condition, a very serious condition. Folks, that's a crisis. We've all read headlines about 2016 Teacher of the Year, Sean Sheehan, and his equally accomplished wife moving to Texas for $50,000 more a year for the couple. We lost an amazing family and consumer sciences teacher, Elsie Morris, to Arkansas. We're hemorrhaging teachers to other states at the tune of an average of 13 a day. That doesn't include how many of our future teachers are going out of the state immediately. How many of you have colleagues that have left the state for better pay or left the profession altogether? Shout out their names, invoke their names. Let's make these halls hear what we're losing, what our kids are missing out on. You know, when we knocked on doors for 779, folks understood our plight and our needs and told us over and over again that it was the legislature's fault that we're in the funding mess that we're in, and they need to be the ones that fix the problem. At the first special session this year, the Senate voted on fixing the problem. Unfortunately, in our state, it takes 76 votes in the House, and we came short 5 votes. That's We're going to need that again today. We're going to need that supermajority, and so it is imperative that you all speak to your legislators. Coach, we got to hang more than half 100 on them. We got to get 76. Teachers, can we do that? Can we get 76? Support professionals, administrators, all educators are in the room today because they know that getting funding for our public schools is going to make the future of our state brighter. What matters today is that in this rotunda, we are all stepping up. We are stepping up together. Business community, our native nations, our education community, all of us stepping up together right now today. We need our legislators to step up for the future of Oklahoma. Step up for students, step up for teachers, step up, and let's step it up together.
We got to do better than hang a half 100 on them. That is got to be the line of the day. Thank you, Alicia. Much appreciated. We all know that you all make a lasting impression on young adults every day. The next generation of Oklahomans is counting on you and us to fix this problem as we go forward. We owe it to our students to create an environment where they can succeed. Our next speaker represents that very future. She's a National Honor Student from Enid, Oklahoma. Please welcome Bailey Fitzgerald.
Good morning. My name is Bailey Fitzgerald, and I'm a junior at Enid High School. I'm honored to be here today to celebrate teachers. Every day, they change the world, sometimes in big ways, sometimes in small ways, but always for the benefit of their students. Teachers share their wisdom with us, but they also share their hearts. They hold us accountable, but provide the right amount of support when we need it the most. They push us, they nurture us. They know that our success is their success. As I near the end of my high school career, I find myself reflecting on the educators who've helped shape my life so far. I remember Mrs. Pierce, my second grade teacher, who taught me that learning is fun. Her excitement and passion for her students, and just the way she loved us, made me look forward to school each and every day. I remember Mr. Thomas, my middle school student council advisor, who challenged me to think critically and to see the world differently than I've had before. He saw the leader in me before I could see it in myself. And I think of Mrs. Bush, my pre-calculus teacher, who never gives up on me. Even when I'm struggling and I think I won't learn a concept, she is there to provide support, to talk me through it one more time, and to ensure that I am successful. When I reflect on these three amazing educators and the many more that I've had, I'm grateful that they invested their time and their talent in me. And it is my sincere hope that today our state will invest in them. I'm so proud to be here at the Capitol with all of you today. It is almost time for the men and women who have been elected to represent us to make a very important decision, a decision that will have a big impact on the future of our state. When I heard about the step-up plan to provide additional support to teachers, I was glad to learn that so many others in Oklahoma know that teachers are valuable. Just as my teachers have made a difference in my life today it is my turn to help make a difference for them. On behalf of our many amazing teachers who make learning fun, who see the leaders in us, and who never give up on us, let's step up Oklahoma. On behalf of my fellow students, the next generation of Oklahomans, I have a message for all the state's teachers. Thank you for choosing education. Thank you for choosing Oklahoma. Thank you for choosing us. Thank you.
Well said, Bailey. Our next speaker oversees more than 36,000 students, 7,400 employees at one of the nation's most comprehensive land-grant universities, and the brightest orange of them all. His primary focus is preparing students for success. He cares deeply about our state and has demonstrated that time and time again over a long career. Please welcome Burns Hargis, President of Oklahoma State University.
This is a great honor to be here. I never thought I'd be a front man for Barry Switzer, but by golly, I'll do my best, Barry. I want to welcome everybody today. This is a remarkable crowd. I've been around this Capitol for 50 years, and I've never seen anything like this. So if people don't get this message, then they're just tone deaf, because we have a real movement here which is necessary to alleviate this crisis we have in our state. And no one feels it more than our teachers, our healthcare workers, and at the university level as well, in our colleges of education especially. The OSU College of Education produces great teachers every year, and we want them to stay in Oklahoma and teach our children. But sadly, too many are having to leave the state. When you look at what Texas is paying compared to what we're paying, $5,000 helps, but it's not enough. I've spent a lot of my life in business, and I can tell you that if you don't pay competitive wages, you're not going to get competitive performance. And as Joy said, if anybody thinks that we're going to have companies come to Oklahoma and other companies grow in Oklahoma without an educated workforce, they're dreaming. The step-up proposal provides Oklahoma literally a lifeline. It ensures that nobody bears too much of the burden. And so we need to put the greater good of our state ahead of personal, partisans, or special interests. We should all be for this. We must seize this moment as if our future depends on it, because it does. The resources you put in core functions of government says a lot about what you prize and what you believe in. And underfunding education, disinvesting in education and all the other core services of Oklahoma suggests really we don't really care about it. It's just not that important. Well, believe me, on the behalf of our many hardworking, committed educators and all the others that work to teach and help our state's future, the innovators that we train, never give up. Step up. Let's step up, Oklahoma.
Thank you, President Hargis. Our next speaker knows a lot about winning. He has one of the highest winning percentages in all of collegiate football. We're asking him to come up today and coach us up as we enter our own fourth quarter of sorts. Please welcome the coach, Barry Switzer.
Thank you, thank you. Did I hear Billy Sims out there? Alicia, we scored 82 on Colorado one day. 77 on Missouri, that'd get it done, wouldn't it? Yeah. I like your line, Burns Hargis, great friend. great leader for the state of Oklahoma. OSU is a great school. I competed against them, and my job was to win most of them, and we did. But I really appreciate having a great state in Tulsa and OSU and Oklahoma. 3 great schools in the state. For all the millennials in the crowd, when I run into little kids with mamas and daddies that recognize me, and the little kids don't know why their daddies and mamas are acting like they do, I always lean over and lean down to them, and for the millennials in the crowd, I'm the old Bob Stoops. You know, that usually does it. So they light up, and all of a sudden I've got their interest. I'm here today to stand up and step up for the teachers of Oklahoma. I've been to your high schools. I knew your teachers, I knew your coaches, I knew your counselors, I knew your principals and superintendents. I've been to nearly every high school in this state, especially if they had a good football player. And I've been to many all over the country. For 4 decades, I did that. I love my job, I love my profession. And you know, my mother the mother of my 3 children was a school teacher. And I've always thought that I was a teacher. My coaches think of themselves as teachers. Our classroom is an athletic field. We have students that we bring there to hopefully win some few football games with us, but we spend 4 or 5 years with them. And our job as coaches, and high school coaches are very similar, is to develop young men for the next 30, 40, 50, 60 years of living, help them and their families become productive citizens for the state they live in, the state of Oklahoma. I've always said to them, you'll probably learn more from me and my coaches than any of those damn books you'll ever carry on your arm in any class on this campus. If you listen to us, all the lessons you learn will behoove you the rest of your life and be a tremendous asset to you. So that's why I think that we are a teacher. It won't be on your transcript. You won't get a grade for it. It won't be on your diploma, but you will learn if you stay with us for 4 or 5 years. Whether you play or not, you'll get a life's lesson. So I'm a teacher, and we wanted to win some football games along the way. I want to have a few words here. I'm going to read them to you. Put my glasses on. Burns wears his all the time. I don't. I'm more vain than you, Burns, I guess. Legislators saying no to Step Up Oklahoma are not simply saying no to you and your families. They are saying no to the students of this state, no to this future of an outstanding workforce in this state. A no vote will impact the economic growth of our state and make it more difficult to attract new industry. What mother or father would wish to move to Oklahoma when education is inadequately funded? Teachers are the backbone of this state's future. The backbone is becoming weaker and weaker. Unless these issues are addressed and teachers are recognized as a true value of the state, we will fail and suffer a slow, sad demise. So, I know, and you know, if you've read the bill, it's not perfect. None of them are. This one isn't either. We can understand why some have questions. However, I ask you and every legislator who represents every Oklahoman this question. What do Oklahomans do when a disaster occurs? They run to assist in any way they can. It is the Oklahoma standard. The state of education and teachers' salaries in Oklahoma is facing an F5 disaster. So I ask you, Is your legislator running to assist, or is he running away?
Thanks, Coach. We all know that the Step Up plan is a compromise. It is nonpartisan. It's about reform. It's about revenue.